On my 13th birthday, I came into school and saw my best friend staring at me like she hated me. "Kristen," I called out with a smile, expecting her to run over and tackle me with a hug like she always did. Instead, Kristen looked me up and down, rolled her eyes, and turned her back to me. My stomach dropped as I jogged to catch up. "Kristen, wait, did you forget what today is?" Kristen yanked her arm away like I had burned her. "Don't touch me. I'm not in the mood to deal with you today." My mouth fell open as she walked away. We had been best friends since kindergarten, 8 years. She had never spoken to me like that. I told myself she must be having a bad morning. I walked into first period and spotted our friend group in the back corner. "Hey guys," I waved as I approached. Sophie looked up first. She nudged Becca, who nudged Grace. All three went silent and stared at me with blank expressions. "What?" I asked nervously. Sophie snorted. "Other than disappointment? Nothing." The other girls laughed. Mean, sharp laughs that made my chest tighten. I stood frozen as they whispered, glancing at me and snickering. I took my seat across the room. Alone. Lunch was worse. I carried my tray to our usual table where all 6 of my closest friends sat. When I went to sit down, Becca put her hand on the empty chair. "This seat's taken." "By who?" "Anyone but you." Tears pricked my eyes as Grace added, "Why don't you go sit by the trash cans? You'd fit right in." The table erupted in laughter. I walked to an empty table in the corner. My birthday cupcakes sat untouched in my locker. Homemade. I had stayed up until midnight frosting each one. After lunch, I found my locker had been decorated, but not with balloons and streamers. Someone had taped printed photos of me to the door with the words, "Loser," and "Nobody wants you here," written in red marker across my face. A crowd had gathered, pointing, laughing, recording on their phones. I ripped the photos down with shaking hands as tears streamed down my cheeks. Kristen stood at the front of the crowd with her arms crossed. I searched her eyes desperately for any sign of my best friend. "Kristen, please," I begged. "What did I do wrong?" Kristen stepped forward and leaned close to my ear. "You were born. That's what you did wrong." That's when I ran. I ran out of the school and didn't stop until I reached my front door. My hands trembled so badly I could barely turn the doorknob. I burst inside, ready to collapse into my mother's arms and sob until I couldn't breathe anymore. Surprise! Streamers exploded in my face. Balloons bounced across the ceiling. Every single person who had tormented me at school stood in my living room with massive grins on their faces. Mom rushed forward and shoved a sparkly party hat onto my head, while tears were still running down my cheeks. "Happy birthday, sweetheart," Mom squealed, adjusting the elastic under my chin. Wasn't that hilarious? It was all my idea. I stood frozen. My chest heaved. Kristen bounded over and threw her arms around me. "Oh my god, you should have seen your face at lunch. We got you so good." "The locker thing was genius," Dad added, appearing beside Mom with his phone out. "I told the girls exactly what to write. We've been planning this for weeks." Sophie grabbed my arm and shook it excitedly. "You actually cried. That made it so much better." I stared at my parents, at my friends, at the banner that read, "Happy 13th birthday, Lily," in glittery letters. Everyone was laughing, celebrating, high-fiving each other over how perfectly the prank had gone. Mom tilted her head. "Lily, say something, honey. Aren't you surprised?" I reached up slowly and pulled the party hat off my head. "I have something for you, Kristen." I walked to my backpack by the door and pulled out a wrapped box. The box I had hidden for 3 weeks. The box that held the matching friendship necklace I had saved 4 months of allowance to buy. One half for her, one half for me. I held it out to Kristen. Her eyes lit up as she reached for it. I pulled it back and walked to the kitchen trash can. I dropped it inside. "Lily!" Mom gasped. "What are you doing?" I turned to face all of them. My voice came out steady for the first time all day. "You want to know what I wished for this morning when I woke up? I wished that this year, I would finally stop wondering if you guys actually liked me. I wished I could stop second-guessing if my friends really wanted me around." I wiped my eyes. "Thanks for answering that question." I walked past all of them toward the stairs. Mom grabbed my arm. "Lily, it was just a joke. We did all this for you." I looked at her hand on my arm, then up at her face. "You watched me walk out of this house this morning with a smile on my face, and you knew exactly what was waiting for me." I pulled my arm free. "That's not love, Mom. That's cruelty with confetti." I walked up the stairs, stepped into my room, and locked the door behind me.